Tuesday again, and we're back with my rambles and advices and just talk. Just freely talk about anything and everything, be it educational or just relations, how to interact with each other's habits and going ons in the different countries. And this is for entertainment purposes only. Today I'm gully. I had a long rest. Um, so I'll start with myself. Hmm, what did we? Last week we discussed about what was the topic? Emotions and the issues that we're facing today. But today is just I just thought of everyone has their quirks. Everyone has a weird habit that some people find it uncomfortable and some people think that's weird. And for me, one of the thing is pizza. I add salt and chili sauce. I don't know if I have other people who do that, but for me, that's my one of the weirdest. No, I don't have other weird, but I'll share about other people's. I've had allegedly weird habits. Um, you'll hear about people saying, but some of them their fetish is just out of this world. It's just crazy. But no, not sexually. Yeah, but just uh, some quirks are weird in a way. Let's say like people turned on with feet. I've watched there's a series about doctors dealing with skin, and most of the people you find have infections on their feet. And I'm like, whew. High school, people had because in the dorms, shared ablutions. You'll find people getting feet athletes and fungus, and that's not cute. Mm-mm. And then normally here in everyday's life, you'll find people having chaffed feet, if I can say that. Yeah. um then you'll find, okay, pregnancy, have women have the weirdest quirks at that time. Hi and welcome. Share with us your quirks. Hi, Branimi. um like people saying they when they're pregnant they eat pickles and ice cream. Oof. The tanginess, ooh, it's just oof. Normally that's a buff, but abnormally, because it's like an alien, a woman carrying a child, um the hormones just go haywire. What else? Other people's quirkiness, um farting in public. Well, to some people it's funny. To others, they think that the person has a problem with their health issues. um and then to others, they do it as enjoyment, just to stink bombs. What else? I think kids have no what's a barrier or a stop to their quirkiness. Yes, I'm Kenyan. um like, for instance, when a kid chooses to embarrass you in public, just be sure they will do it to the full, ultimate, optimum level, to the summit. Like today I went for shopping, and I was in the aisle of snacks, biscuits, chocolates and sweets. Then a mom came in. Thank you, Branimi. uh And she had a elder kid who was a boy, and then the girl was just bawling out, crying. As I was looking at my assortments of what candy I wanted to buy, then I heard the mom telling her, I'm not going to buy you that one, and ask your brother. Even if you cry tears, even if you cry out loud, I'm still not going to cry. I'm not going to buy for you that. And then she was like, the mom chose for her a healthier candy. She was like, no. I was like, woo, lucky me, this is not my situation. uh I left them. They were still debating on which one to buy. Hi Griffin, welcome. We are talking about people's weird quirks, uh, things that we find them either weird or we are just like, I relate to that. It's something that I can do. So now we are talking about being embarrassed by kids in public. Kids can really put you through some things that you will not expect, surprisingly. So like that, for me, from my experience, family experience, I has been a firstborn. I usually got a look or pinches in public, so I behaved as much as I can remember. I behaved in public. I remember there's a time we came home from my grandparents, uh, visiting them, and my brother wanted to be carried, so we boarded public transport. So coming back, and we had, usually when you go to visit our grandparents in the up country, you're gifted, what's it called, farm products like potatoes, sacks of potatoes, cabbages, carrots, like green stuff that you can come. For people who live in urban settings, you stock them because the urban setting is expensive, and they believe in other countries organic food is more expensive. So for us, when you have a family who has a farmland and they gift you, as you depart, you embrace that gift and come with it. So everyone had a luggage to carry. My mom had our traditional carrier, which is called kiondo. So she had it over her back. I was carrying our luggage. So my brother was the youngest that time. And our house manager, house help, was also carrying some other luggages that we were given, and also her bag. So my brother threw a tantrum when we just alighted the bus, and he was like, he wanted to be carried too. My mother told him, it's just, we're a few steps away from home, just walk, and then I'll carry you when you reach the house because I have a luggage. My brother decided to wail, scream, shout, and throw himself on the on the on the streets. And that's when my mom was like, mm-mm. Back then, that's way, way, way in the 90s. So my mom just dropped her back carrying luggage and spanked that rest. And my brother walked up to home. So yeah, uh, my sister, my sister also did something like my friend, the fellow parent who was in the supermarket and the daughter was crying about the assortment. My sister went shopping with my mom, and she wanted a specific, I think, a Christmas gift or something. And my mom that time, you know how parents sometimes, funds are there, funds are not there. So you tell your kid that not today, next time. Uh, she got pissed off, threw her hands at my mom, and left my mom in the supermarket. Well, my mom disciplined her at the house where she found him. So that one at least was not in public, so she didn't get the second hand uh, punishment. But children who have grown up in the 90s and 80s and 70s, okay, for me, 90s, our parents had mastered the key weirdest quirk, and I find it's universal, which is weird. Um, there was this look they used to give us until you shape up wherever you are. You might be in a crowded vicinity or a party, and your mom just gives you that one particular look, and you behave from there. Because you know, if you don't, it's either you'll have a beating in front of people, or when you get home, it's going to be very uncomfortable. And right now, the weirdest work I see with parents, and they're saying about Generation Alpha, they're saying most of the Generation Alpha are not being beaten because it's like that punishment is not enough for them. So they're saying that they negotiate or talk to the child. You have a compromise with your child, and I'm like, okay, since we are not parents yet, some of us, um, it works. It works if you have an understanding and you have a child who understands the right from wrong and how to uh, outright be an outright person who respects everyone. It's an experiment, so we'll see the results in a few years, or already seen the results for the older generation Alpha. Then we also have in workplaces. Now that's where the conflict comes about, between how millennials were brought up and how Generation Z was brought up, because most of millennials can say they were corporally punished with a belt or whatever their parent could reach. For me, it was slippers, flip flops. At school, we used to share how our parents used to punish us. And you'll hear somebody say, my parent used to beat me with a particular belt. Another one will say, with their cooking stick, a ladle like made of wood stick. And sometimes it will break. Another one will say the rolling pin. And I was like, ooh, are you adopted? Because damn, that stick is heavy. And I have one. Let me show. Imagine being beaten by this, and it's nowhere, that it's already thick all through, and somebody is beating you with this. Or you've seen the heavier ones that Italians home serve for spreading pasta, and yeah. You'll hear others, they'll be punished by some homes that will say they were bougie back then, having the timeout and also being told not to play video games. That was unheard of in the households. Common households were those, either the rolling pin, the cooking stick, muiko, or flip-flops or belts. And you find other extreme house. I remember there was a classmate of ours who told us the parent had a hose pipe in the house for punishment, or gas pipe. You see where the gas pipe that you connect to your cooktops. I was like, you are beaten with that in school, and then at home you're still being beaten with that. So there's no difference between you being in school and at home. Spade. Somebody is suggesting them they use. How would your parent beat you? Is that the tiny spade or the big one, the big spoon? Griffin's family. How? That's crazy. Um, Other than hey, spade is crazy. Uh, but the weirdest quirk I remember when we were young, there is a saying in Swahili and all uh, authentic ethnic groups in Kenya. They say the child belongs to the community. The child is raised by community, like the village. It takes, like now in English, it takes a whole village to raise a child. And Africa, here in Kenya especially, I'll speak from experience, it was deemed, if a neighbor or somebody who's elderly or parent saw you misbehaving, they'll punish you and then come and report you to your parent. Your parent beats you also, and they'll keep on saying the same saying. We're not beating you, you're beating your mistake, or you're beating the wrong doings, and yet you're the one who's feeling the pain. Yeah, I remember there's a time when we had gone to my grandparents' home to visit. My uncle, young uncle, who's my mom's cousin, and how many were we? We were actually 4 kids. So we were in our holiday mood. We just wanted to have fun, enjoy the, what's called, uh, herding the animals to go and drink water in the dam. And when we were doing that, we decided to dip our toes. And that dam didn't have a good reputation because kids have drowned in the past. So it was a worrisome sight. Hi, Jimmy, welcome. Uh, then, because where the dam is located, it has a farm from all around. It's surrounded with the farms, and they are hilly. They are in a slope falling towards the dam. It's in a valley. So people from, okay, from my grandmother's farmland falls, everyone has a small gate to access the dam to take um, their cows, their goats, the donkeys, cattle, in other words, to drink water from the dam. And like everyone had it, it was like time during the day they eat, and then around 2 we'll take the cows to go and drink water in the dam, wash up, dip, and then in the evening around 4 5 we'll take them back before milking time comes. So we decided to have fun, dip our toes in the in the dam water. And it was back in the day when mobile phones, cell phones were not there here in Kenya yet. It was only decoded telephones and letters, postal. So a neighbor spotted us. I, up to date, we have never understood how our grandmother knew that we had gone and dipped our feet inside the water. We did get, my grandmother was still young then. She had energy. Nowadays, she's saying that I'm the one who has experienced. The first daughter, first granddaughter, first niece, first cousin. I was first in the family. So, yeah, the beating that we got, we could not, even my grandmother was like, I decided to hide myself like the better part of the evening. They thought that I had run away trying to go home. So she had, like, she kept, where I was hiding, I could hear her saying, find her, otherwise I don't know what I'll tell my daughter that we have done to her daughter. But anyway, so that networking that happened back then before cell phones happened is the weirdest thing, weirdest quirk I have experienced. I don't know if they used to talk with smoke signal or osmosis, because that was not realistic for that time. How about you? Hi, Jimmy. I'm fine. Thank you for the subscriptions. Uh, but that point of spade is crazy. Maybe the jembe stick that Protestants have been beaten with, the the hose stick. Yeah, it's called the hose stick. That's actually what Protestants have been beaten with in the city. So if that was what was used for you for punishment when you were young, you should have reported it. That's child endangerment. Wow. Um, Other than that, even nowadays, schools also don't have the corporal punishment. We used to have teachers who will come and remove their frustration, their life frustration on us. Oh, Form 3, you are an adult. I think your parents saw the flippers, the slippers will not impact the pain as much. But that's a crime. uh yeah, primary school teachers, most of them used to remove their frustration, their life frustrations on students. I hear even secondary, mostly boys schools. I have had up to now, last term, boys schools, some of them in Kajiado had striked because they wanted the punishments to be done away with. And when they were the ones who started the strikes came home, they would explain to us that their teachers would beat them up with the gas pipes. At least our high school, the hardest punishment I have done is washing the cowshed. Then I was told to go to class after that, not even go to refreshing, or at least remove the clothes that I washed the cowshed with. I was smelling like biogas. You could have lit me up with a spark, not even a matchbox, a spark. The second punishment I got is after my suspension was to uproot a stump of acacia tree. Do you know how deep those roots go? And it's fibrous roots, so it's not just one tap root that goes down. It's spread all over, so you have to find them, cut it so that you can uproot it. I did that for 2 days and I was like, my mom is paying school fees and I'm outside. Does that make any sense? Yeah. Those are the two, actually, the only times I've done punishment. Um, our teacher who stayed in the compound and was on duty on night preps and morning preps told me if she was to give me punishment for sleeping in class during prep time, I would have been punished every day. She didn't understand why I was sleeping during the morning preps, and in the evening preps I was not even studying. I was reading novels. My point was, our cubes in our dorm, the walls, the separation walls were not filling up to the ceiling, so it was a half wall. You could hear if somebody sleep talks, I would hear it. So at night I rarely did sleep, because you'll find it was a cube of 24 cubes, a dome of 24 cubes, with most of them, 12 of the cubes having 6 beds, and the other 12, remaining 12 had four beds. So yeah, a lot of personalities. You'll find others who have nightmares, screaming, and once you snored near me, my sleep will go bye-bye. So that's why I used to sleep in the morning preps in class. And because in the class, because I used to shower with hot water because of issues with my uh, chest, special people. So the others were showering with cold water, frozen cold water. I did that, so that's when I got ill. That's why I was given the doctor's note of not showering with cold water. So cold water and me, no. So I'll go and fetch the hot water during breakfast and during morning cleaning routine. That's when I'll shower. At least it was between 6:15 and 7, no, 8. So that's when we, no, 7:30. Yeah. So yeah, uh, I'll go to class still with my pajamas underneath my the school uniform. So I was warm already, so still in my warm clothes from bed. And that's how sleep used to catch me in class. And then evening preps, I'll find myself reading novels. My class teacher used to say, don't be like me." And he was using my name. "Don't be like her. She looks at the book looking at her, putting nothing in her head." Because I was a practical learner, what the teacher has explained in class, that's what I'll grasp. If you tell me to go back and reread what we had already learned, you've lost me. And my teacher, class teacher used to, that was one observant teacher because he knew every student in his class habits. This one is good at this one is good at cramming. Even he will say that one is a crammer, and they will make a good lawyer from the word go, since from 1 up to form 4. But hey, punishment. We had teachers who were very creative with punishments. Remember in my dorm, since I was the prefect there, there are some girls, and who especially were in my class, they were found sleeping in the dorm during class time, prep times. And the dorm mistress decided to punish them by telling them to go and get their mattresses after parade and their blankets, and they come to the parade ground and they sleep there the whole day. You imagine that time, and it was during the hot days when the sun is really shining. There's the classmate up to date, she tells me she's still pissed off about me giving her name out, but I told them initially, yes, I've been made the prefect, but there has to be a mutual respect. You respect me, I respect you, but now if you do the opposite of that, uh, and I'm doing my duty, don't blame me. Then there was this deputy principal who was in our school. She'll compile your what mistakes you've done and wait for when the funkies are there, and that's when she gives you the punishment to go and dig out the queen termite. Do you know how deep that queen is hidden? Well, maybe your boyfriend has come to school, or a friend, or a potential crush or a crush, and that's when they see you digging out queen termites in the fields. Yeah. So those are the quirks. My quirks. Yeah, I've I've acknowledged my food quirk is adding chili sauce and salt to my pizza. I don't eat pizza with pineapple. I have an allergy of pineapple. I actually start scratching, and but I used to eat it. And then I ate one that was contaminated, and my body just rejected it from then. Um, yeah, actually, that's the only allergy I've heard of. People having weird allergies, like allergy to our Kenyan staple food, ugali. I have an aunt who actually, until it's cooked for the longest time, until that whatever affects her steams out. I also heard of allergies of kissing. I've seen on a drama that I was watching that somebody has an allergy kissing some, so not unless it's the soulmate who kisses them, or the required wife, by heavens. Others are allergic to scent. That's true, but it's so unfortunate because do have a boss who has no scent. When tear gas was being released in our CBD area, he will not even sneeze. He doesn't even feel that effect, not even have a tear irritation or anything. He's going on his business day until he's looking around the office and everyone is sneezing and asking what's in the air because it's really irritating to the eye. And he's just, I said, that's a superpower because hey, that person will never know if he's next to somebody who smells the other is whew, because now for me I'm the opposite. I'm very sensitive. I'm the first one in the office that gets that sniff of tear gas if it's released. I'll start sneezing like crazy. Then taste, oh my, that would be so sad. You don't know the food, how food tastes like the different flavors, the combinations of the flavors, how they dance and make you have different facial expressions and moods also. um that's crazy. Touch also, wow. Being numb, not feeling, you just feeling like something is just poking you, not knowing if it's a hand, if a feather, soft kitten, and all that. Yeah, but quirks are there. Crazy things happen in the world. It's once in a while you appreciate the laughter, the craziness, the difference of people, and embracing difference of people. And oh, another quirk, racist, or for us here in our country, tribalists. Uh, it doesn't make sense because if you do your family history, one way or another, you'll find that your family is blended with a different culture, a different background. It's not we started from here. Actually, in this century and time, people are mixed. If you do proper history evaluation, you'll find everyone has this. Okay, in every family, there's always a secret that is untold and might freak you out right now, but also interesting to understand how your family. Ooh, my accent is coming out. How your family is coming about. Until next Tuesday. Today it was just like your quirks. I've seen people have gone through corporal punishment in the weirdest way. Jimmy, put me on time, on block me, please. I didn't get it. Explain it or comment later. Until next time, that was all for today. Next topic. Usually it's random, but fun topic to talk about. And thank you for the new followers. Listen to my music. I keep on saying the new music coming soon, so I'll just keep it quiet and just work in the shadows and then surprise you, not say it outright. But otherwise, bye bye.